talk a little bit about the mentorship program, because I know when I first met you, that wasn't something that you were focused on. You were doing the events, and that was a very exciting thing, but I know that now the mentorship is a huge part of the work that empowerHER does. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So again, like I said, I had mentors throughout my life, men and women, but primarily after my mother died. And the women in my life, I really think they saved me. I think it's a hard topic, and I think sometimes it's easier to just avoid it. And so we built the mentor program really from, big brothers, big sisters. Just organizationally speaking, it took me a year to write the program, but it was really just copying a 70-year-old model. And so today, mentors commit to spending 5 hours a month for 12 months, all in the natural environment, and doing all sorts of things. It's leisurely and lighthearted, but it's also really, really heavy things. And the most important distinction that I needed to make, because I knew I was going to get this question from the start, was our mentors are not meant to minimize the role of dad. It's not to suggest that dad is not enough. It's not to minimize the role of the stepmother or the maternal aunt or the maternal grandmother. It was to say, one thing that in some ways I wanted was, while I had a huge community, I couldn't grieve with them. And this is hard for people to understand perhaps, but if I saw my father cry once was enough. If I watched my aunt, who was 32 and just lost her best friend, if I saw her cry one more time, it was enough. If she saw me cry, it was enough. And so I couldn't grieve in that space. It's almost like I needed a stranger, or I needed like an unfamiliar face that I could grieve with, and who could be my friend. And also, what I think would have been really impactful was the opportunity to meet a woman who powered through her grief. So a woman who was 30 or 40 or 50 years old, whose mother died when they were 9 of breast cancer. And that's something I didn't have. So 2 things that I set out to do at empowerHER were, in a lot of ways, pretty selfish, which was, I can change it for that generation. I can't do anything about the 42-year-old, but I can change this and give them events and remind them they're not alone in their grief, even though in their town they're the only girl. And then I could give them a mentor who could be a friend and show them there's still beauty and joy, and that it is survivable. And that's truly what a mentor program is.